up, everybody? It's your boy, IamTaeTheBarber, here with a 2-minute tip just for you. Alright, my tip for today is how to choose a good barber. So here we go. I'm going to break this up into 2 parts. Part 1 being things you should do before you get to the barbershop, and part 2 being the things that you should do after you get to the barbershop. Alright? So my first tip for today is to get referrals. Get referrals from your friends and acquaintances and see who really have the great cuts, and also find out who their barber is. Most times if you know somebody that keeps a fresh cut, most times they pretty much have a decent barber. So talk to your people at work or school, see who they go to. How does he or she work? Does the barber do walk-ins or does the barber do appointments? Most barbers who do walk-ins are still trying to build clientele. But because they do walk-ins, it doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have the skill or the ability to do the cut that you're looking for. Maybe they just moved to the city or town, or maybe they just changed barbershops and some of their clientele didn't follow them. You just have to be prepared for a long wait if that person has 2 or 3 in front of you, because you are a walk-in, so be prepared for a wait. If they do appointments, in most cases they already have established clientele. Good barbers should always have somebody to cut. It's just a matter of when they can fit you in their schedule to take care of you. But if they do appointments and they have bad time management skill, it cannot and will not work. But if they're disciplined and they know how long it's going to take them to do cuts and they stay on top of their time, they'll be the person to do appointments. So another thing to do is to search online, see what the World Wide Web has to say about your stylist or barber. Start out with Google searches and type in things like barbershops in your city, your town, your area, or the best barber in your city, town, or area. Also go to websites like Yelp that have reviews on businesses, whether they're good or bad. See what other people have to say about their experience. And also check to see if the barbershop or barber has a website. That way you can kind of meet them before you actually meet them in person. Alright? So those are the things that you do before you get to the barbershop. Now we're going to talk about the things that you would do after you get to the barbershop. Alright, so the first thing after you get to the barbershop, you should always check to see if that barber is licensed. Have their license posted up at their station. If the shop has a shop license at the front of the barbershop along with the business license and all those important documents. The second thing would be is to check for the environment and the atmosphere outside and inside of the barbershop. Take note to the shop's cleanliness. Make sure that the waiting area is comfortable, the bathroom's clean, floor swept. You don't want hair piled up to your ankles. That's definitely not a good look. Does he or she sterilize their hands and clippers before every cut? Also, make sure that if you ask for a razor service, make sure that your barber knows how to use a razor. And if they do use the razor, make sure they use a new razor before they give you the service. You don't want any old razors, no dirty razors used on your face. Check out how well groomed your barber is. Chances are that if your barber has a whack haircut and a whack shave, they probably given whack haircuts and whack shaves. So watch out for that. Make sure their clothes are pressed, their clothes are clean. Appearance does matter. So if their appearance is right and you see that they pay attention to detail, a lot of times the detail that they put in their clothes and their appearance carries over to their haircuts. So I think that's another important tip. The next one would be confidence. Confidence is very important. The way they speak to you. When you come in the door, you definitely want to be greeted. This is the person that you're trusting to do artwork on your head. So make sure they give you eye contact. Make sure they greet you. And at some point, make sure they give you a good firm handshake of introduction. Letting you know who they are. You tell them who you are. You sit down. They drape you. Y'all explain. You talk about the cut and so forth and so forth. Good barbers take their time and pay attention. No distractions. They don't have a whole lot of things going on while they're cutting you. No phone calls. I mean, phone calls are going to come through, but you don't want every 5 minutes the barber picking up the phone. and holding the phone while he's cutting you, that's definitely not a good look. Many breaks while he's cutting you. Lunch breaks, smoke breaks outside. Somebody comes to the shop and they want to talk to him, so they tell you to give them a second. Let me talk to such and such outside. That's not a good habit of a professional barber. Good barbers ask the right questions for specific styles and cuts. I mean, they ask questions like, how much do you want off the top? Do you want to keep your sideburns? Do you want the back round, square, or faded? How do you usually style your hair? Those are the questions that you kind of want your barber to ask. You want them to turn you around to the mirror so you can kind of see what's going on, see what they've already done. That way you can say, okay, you took a little off, but I want you to bring it down a little bit lower. Or, that fade is good, but can you take it up a little bit higher? Those are the questions, those are the things, the conversation that you want to kind of have with your barber to make sure that you're getting the right cut that you want. Because the last thing you want is for the barber to be done with the haircut, you get the mirror, you check it out in the mirror, and you don't like it. Alright? So make sure that your barber keeps you involved throughout the cut and asking for your feedback. Alright? So there it is. That's Tae's 2-minute tips. Tune in next week right here on IamTaeTheBarber TV with another 2-minute tip from your boy, IamTaeTheBarber. Alright? Y'all be easy. Until next time, salute.
I am Tae the Barber. You need a sharp line and crispy fade, guarantee I got ya. World class cuts is where it goes down. Spread the word around town. Stop on in and check us out. You see just what I'm talking about. Barber King of the South. Yeah, you see the crown. Philly bro, that's how I shape it up or trim it down. Any way you want it, Tae the Barber, he the business. World class cuts, ain't no competition. World class cuts, 2341 Jonesboro Road, 678-583-0639. Monday through Friday 10 to 8, Saturday 8 to 5, and make appointments online at worldclasscuts.com.